3, 2, 1.
Hi, it's CarlosKing, and welcome back to the ItsMeCamika podcast. Today we have to break down the last 5 minutes of the show. We are going to review Love Marriage Huntsville, Season 9, Episode 3. They titled it Signed, Sealed, Divorced, I'm Yours. This episode, it had everything in it, but it all came down to those last 5 minutes. As always, I'm here for a good time, but not a long time, so let's get the party started. So this episode starts off with a good recap. We have Trish telling the girls at dinner that yes, I did go to Martel's house. We have Ken telling the guys that, hey, I don't care because it was before me. We have Nell with an N asking Sunny if she has kids, and Destiny trying not to react, trying to look as unbothered as possible.
So I'm doing my best in this moment, hearing Nell ask woman that betrayed me, Sunny. I'm thinking in my head, what the
And get into this. Then we have Marceau talking to Marquez. And as he's talking to him at the bar about leaving his family, he's talking to him like he has to scold a child. So keep that in mind as we go about this episode. Melody is so corny to me. I'm sorry, she is. So we're at the table. The girls are all at the table. We're still on this girls' trip. This is their last night. And Melody's like, oh, this has been basically a dream vacation. We've all settled our differences and it's been kumbaya and we've all danced together and took pictures together and we did all this great stuff. And everybody's in agreement with her. Kimmy's, oh, I've never been on a girls trip. Oh, I'm so happy. Then we got Tisha. She's like, yeah, you did a good job, Mel. We get Lauren, who is Melody's other friend who hasn't said a word this whole trip. Unlike Dr. Shanita, who is loud. She finally speaks and she speaks very calmly. And she's like, hey, I've enjoyed being with you all and seeing some of you be able to settle your differences. Then we get Destiny. Baby, when I tell you Destiny was not having it, she just not with the shits. And you know what? I'm very much so like Destiny. I cannot fake it. I can't fake it for you. I can't fake it for the camera. I just can't. And isn't that called being real? So here she is. And you can just see she's not grimacing. Her face isn't all turned up, right? But she didn't clap like all the other ladies. Melody decides, oh, I'm going to call her out. You know, Destiny, did you not think that it was a good trip? Was that a good Melody voice? And Destiny kind of gives her those eyes for a second. Like, girl, you know damn well this is not a good trip for me. Sunny is here. Sunny betrayed me and is now with my ex. Talking about they getting ready to have babies. This is the most uncomfortable situation to be in. But Destiny just responds like, hey, I don't have to do everything that everyone else does at the table. I can be myself. And in her confessional, she's like, what are we in the Twilight Zone? Does everybody have to do the exact same thing? But that's Mel for you. She's going to want everyone to kiss her butt, to lift her up, to cheer her on, or else. But get into this moment. This next moment, my God. So Destiny turns to Nell and says, I had to watch you ask Sunny today if she had children with my ex. Then Sunny chimes in and says, I think that if we could all just acknowledge that some people have been betrayed, then you can move past it. And that staying in denial is the hard part. How did Destiny sit there so calmly? This woman just told you, get over it. And when you accept the fact that I'm with your ex, you'll be good.
It's really funny that you use that word betrayal. Because you denied that for a very long time.
Sunny is so cringe. I bet you she's the type of woman that thinks that she won a prize. That's the confidence that she exudes when she talks to Destiny in this manner. I got him. You don't. Get over it. And you know what? I'm willing to bet that Destiny was the draw. Do y'all know what I mean when I say that? Sonny got with Moses for the thrill of knowing that Destiny had been with him. This is what I believe. It's sneaky and it's exciting and impulsive and vindictive. And I think that's what drew her in when it comes to Moses. And I believe that Sonny needs to remember why she's on the show. Girl, you would not be here had you not married somebody who had been with Destiny. We didn't even know who you were. So somebody needs to remind you. And when they do, it will humble you. But let me move on because we have to talk about corny Melody. You know what? Melody used to be a teacher, and I can tell. She acts like she's a school teacher, an elementary one. Everybody pick a word that sums up this trip. So she gets up with this photo, and it's a picture of all of them, which is nice. I would take a picture. I would want a picture. But no, she puts her Melody spin on it. I want everybody to sign the picture. I'm trying to talk like her, but I can't. We might have the same voice. Who knows? Okay. But she's like, I want everybody to sign the picture and I'm going to make a copy for everyone. That is so corny. What are we in school? We don't even ask celebrities for their autographs anymore. Why do I need a signed picture? Just give me a picture. That's the memory. I don't know. She's just so corny to me. And then to top it off, she breaks out with a poem. And when she's reading this poem that she wrote, her name is also in there. So then she passes out these white roses. And as she passes out each white rose, she says, to new beginnings. Now, let me tell y'all something. Mel loves to be seen and heard. None of this was for anyone at the table. The poem wasn't for them. These white roses weren't for them. To new beginnings wasn't for them. The signed picture was not for them. This is what Melody likes. She likes attention. Didn't they say she was a speaker and people would bring her in to host events? Melody is that type of person. She likes the spotlight. So now we get Trish and her man. Trish looks rejuvenated. She has a fresh new look. She has some braids in her hair. It's pulled up in a ponytail. She looks great. She has lashes on. They have matching shirts on. I feel like the color they have on was the color theme for this episode. So now they're sitting there discussing hashtag Martell. Y'all, tell me this. What is it about this story that makes them want to play it up as some juicy scandal? We see this happen all the time. A guy will slide in your DMs. He'll ask you. He'll invite you to his house. Something may go down or something may not. You decide if you like this person and want to pursue them or not. And it's not juicy and it's not a scandal. And I don't like that the focus is on her timeline. They feel as if she is lying because of the timeline of events. Not that it is any of their business. However, maybe she lied because she was embarrassed to say that she went on a date with Martell, given his circumstances. How about that? Martell has a track record. He ain't squeaky clean. That shit can be embarrassing. Messing with Martell, he's the type of person that you, despite your first instinct to not even go there, you give him a chance and then you kick yourself later. I'm going to be honest. I feel like men are quick to find a way to make a woman look scandalous or shame her. And in this instance, I feel that vibe. Whether it was intentional or not, it's almost as if we keep talking about it to cheapen her, especially when Martell said she wasn't bad enough for him. Right in front of her man. I want y'all to have some type of respect. And that is what is not taking place in this situation. There is not a mutual level of respect when we talk about Martell versus Trisha. And the fact that they allowed Martell to degrade her based upon her looks, I am so disgusted. Disgusted with Carlos, disgusted with Martell, and disgusted with all those men that sat there and accepted that comment at that time, in that moment. Nobody had the guts to stand up to Martell and tell him that he's gone too far. So naturally, Ken is frustrated with the gossip about her past with Martell. Especially in his heart of hearts, he feels as if his girl has been shown in a negative light. He's over it. Then she has to tell him that while on the trip, Sonny tried to compare her situation to Trisha's. What was Sonny thinking? It's time to compare their situations so we can see if we should have the same mindset that she had. So, Sonny used to be Destiny's producer on the show. Destiny was dating Moses on again, off again, over a period of time. Communication slows down, but they're still communicating. In the meantime, Sonny sees Moses out, and the rest is history. They end up getting married and are trying to have a child. This is the story that they gave us. We don't know. He could have just slid in her DMs. You never know because you can't trust her. So that is scenario 1. Now let's get into scenario 2, which is Trisha's scenario. Now this is all according to Trisha. She had a man that she's had since high school, and he abandoned she and her children in her time of need. She was experiencing the death of a loved one, depression because of that, but still trying to be a wife and a mother through all of this. In them. So eventually, she picks herself up, dusts herself off, and finds love again. And let me tell y'all something. You have to catch us when we're still in love, when we're hurting behind you, when we're crying behind you, when we're calling your phone a million times, sending you paragraphs after paragraph. Because when all of that stops, baby, it's a wrap. There's no coming back. Catch us during that time or else. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We really should have saved this commentary for the end. Back to Trisha and Ken. They're discussing how Dr. Shanita told Trisha not to throw stones at a glass house. And they get into this conversation about how many people are in a scenario similar to theirs. Trisha, girl. Trisha said all bets are off, honey. Trisha said Melanie did it. Ooh. Ooh. I had to rewind that. But Mel and Martell did get into an argument on one of those reunions when he accused Melody of cheating back. But back to this conversation. It's true. A lot of couples get into another relationship prior to the divorce. And it could be for so many reasons, but sometimes divorces just take a long time, especially if you have property and money and children involved. That can make it take longer. So, what if you meet someone in between then, which most couples do? When you know that there is no room for reconciliation and you have no plans, you are totally over this marriage, I just don't see a problem with it. Don't come for me. Some do because they go by the Bible, they have religious beliefs. I get it. But I think in this situation, they are trying to cheapen and make her look some type of way. You know what I get a kick out of, though? The fact that everyone that is talking has had issues in one way or another, whether it be in their marriage, accused of cheating, rumors about cheating, pictures with women, and they have the audacity. The audacity continues in this episode. They have the audacity to judge. And speaking of judging, let's get into Kimmy and Maurice. They are at home having a conversation about the girls' trip. Kimmy's telling Maurice everything that happened, all the issues that arose. And of course, Trisha and Martell comes up. But this time, they both agree that both sides, both Trisha and Martell, said nothing happened. But did they accept that? Absolutely not. Now Kimmy says nothing may mean something. How many ways do these people have to tell you that nothing happened for you to accept it? Not that it's any of your business. They could have linked up and had great sex. None of your business. I am tripping. Kimmy said, well, what's nothing? Nothing could mean something. What? What kind of math? I've never heard of nothing meaning something. You just made that up. Then they get on Trisha's love for Ken. Maurice says that he feels Trisha does not love Kim as much as Ken loves her, and that there seems to be overlap. Excuse me? Is that any of your business? I would accept this conversation from a couple in their home just as they are. They're on the patio, they're out there talking. That's what couples do. They talk about other couples, what they have going on. This is normal. What isn't normal is for Kimmy to say we all need to link up and get to the bottom of this. What? This woman owes you nothing. You don't have to get to the bottom of anything. You remain focused on what goes on in your home and in your marriage and leave other people's relationships alone. Now we have Letitia and Marcel. And Letitia is telling him about the girls' trip. You know she's going to start with Dr. Shanita. Everybody is in agreement that Dr. Shanita is annoying. And everyone knows that Dr. Shanita was Melody's spokesperson on the trip. But Marcel made me chuckle when he said she won't be around next year. It's so true. Dr. Shanita would totally outshine Melody in any situation. And we all know that that's definitely not going to go down on Melody's watch. Did anyone clock the fact that Destiny told her to basically shut the hell up while she was talking to Sunny? Dr. Shanita, stay in your place. Stay in your lane. Shut up. Now we have the scene with Trisha, Ken, and Marquez. Marquez is the husband that has not yet signed the divorce papers. Ken is the new boo. Trisha says she wants to move forward, but what does moving forward look like? Are you all going to sign the divorce papers? Are you all filing for custody? What does moving forward look like? Having a conversation about your previous relationship? I wish she would have explained to the viewers a little bit more about what moving forward looked like. Provide us with a little bit more context. So Marquez sits down, and as soon as he sits down, he says he doesn't understand why they're there, and he needs to get clarity. He also says that there are several things that are basically still bothering him. The overlap between Ken and Trisha, and he's wondering if Ken was talking to Trisha prior to their relationship ending. For him to ask that still lets us know that this man is still in love with Trisha. Too much time has passed since they have been together for him to still be wondering this. At some point, he has to be like, hashtag Sunny, and accept it, and get over it. Now I'm sitting here and I'm looking at Marquez, and that is a nice, handsome guy. He's not going to have any problems trying to get another woman based upon looks anyway. But clearly, he states that, hey, I haven't moved on. You've moved on. So he's still letting her know, I want you. I don't have anyone else. But it's just a little too late. She's already fallen in love. And once a woman is done, she's done. He brings up his children and how his children are close to kin. And basically, he doesn't like that. But Trisha brings up the fact that this guy is absent when it comes to his children. He's not around. Ken has taken his kids the country. He bought one of his children a car. His daughter and Marquez's daughter are basically best friends. They have established a life of love and family while Marquez is over here isolating himself from his children and being miserable because he lost the love of his life. Marquez seems a little emotionally immature. He also doesn't seem like the brightest guy. I cannot stand a man who has a million and one excuses as to why he cannot see his children. Do not bring up the fact that you cut their umbilical cords and in the same sentence say, oh, I moved and that's why I can't see my children. She has danced and that's why I can't see my children. You have a million and one excuses and have the nerve, the audacity, because the audacity continues this episode, to be upset with Ken for doing what he's supposed to do, for also doing what you're supposed to do. You're really just upset that she found a good guy. And you just can't accept that. People tend to hate the good qualities they see in others. When you have someone who hates you, it's usually because they recognize the good in you. Whether it's your skill set, whether it's your emotional abilities, physical features. When you hate someone like he hates Ken, he sees that, hey, Ken is doing everything that I'm not. Ken is the guy that I wasn't. He's also strikes me as that guy that if I can't have the mom, throw away the kids. And I know that seems harsh, but there are people out there like that. Their own kids, they're willing to throw away if they can't have the mom. And that's what I mean by emotional immaturity. But when Marquez pulled out that envelope with the divorce papers in it, I don't know. Trish kind of stopped for a minute and she said she was shocked, but I think she was shook. And she does mention that he's still in love with her. So maybe that's why she was so shocked. But for one moment, you kind of think, wait, do you want this or not? So she does ask for a pen so she can sign the papers. When you sign divorce documents, that is a finality. And I don't know if they should have shown this on TV because no one imagines their marriage failing. And when you sign, that's it. There's no going back. It's over. That is an emotional moment. And here she is with her hand on Ken, with a pen in her other hand, signing the paperwork. And you can see Marquez start to tear up. He is so emotional, but he understands like that this means that's it. There is no room for reconciliation. She's ready to sign these papers. She's done with me. You never really see a guy cry unless he's experiencing a death. This is a real moment. This is real reality TV. This is a real relationship. These are raw, real emotions. This is what you call reality TV. This is, if there was an award show based upon reality show moments, this tops it this year. So Marquez, he's crying to the point where he has to wipe the tears away. And he's saying, like, this moment, it's really effing with me. And Ken, this is why Trisha wants to be with Ken. In this moment, he's not only her protector, but he's also lending his hand in this moment to a man who hasn't been as kind as he should to him. And he's telling him that, hey, I know we've had problems in the past, and I know that you view me as a problem. But if you ever need anything, if you ever want to call someone or just need to speak to someone, you can call me. So the music is playing, the sad music in the background, and shoot, I start getting emotional. And then Trisha's like, oh, I seen him cry before. It don't do nothing for me. Remember what I said earlier? When they done, they done. You can cry. You can say that you'll be the perfect person. You can tell us your plan on how you're going to improve. You can tell us that you landed that big job finally. You can tell us what you'll do for us in every way, shape, and form. But when we're done, we are done. Reality TV crying and showing the world how you lost one of the best things that had ever happened to you. Don't be that person. You know what? Did they have a notary there in the room with them? Because I know he said we have to have these documents signed and notarized. And I just wonder, did they have someone there to notarize the documents? I need this question to be answered at the reunion. But that was so emotional. This episode should have been named Marquez's Tears. No, seriously, this episode was filled with raw emotions and real life drama. If you enjoyed today's breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. See you next time.